Grace and peace, family. Good day to you. I'm surprising you with an early broadcast of the Vicki show. Very brief war briefing. I'm going to move forward without delay because I have an appointment today. But I just wanted to tap in really quick to address something that I posted on my Instagram page. By the way, you can follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. You can follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Now, I have to say, that for those of you that may or may not know, I've been doing this work for quite some time, for years, and helped to build large platforms and doing media, Black media, that got quite a bit of attention, not only here in America, but around the world, and through some very powerful people and platforms. And that's a part of my assignment, to shake stuff up. Yes, your little sister with the curly braids over here with the laptop and the cell phone. Somebody talk Black to me. It's the power and the seed of my word that's so important, and that's ship shaping things. Now, I want to say this to you. With that being said, sometime back I interviewed Dr. Umar Johnson. In fact, a couple of times when I was with Fly Nubian Queen, I interviewed him on one of their other platforms before I interviewed him on the YouTube platform. And they went pretty well. There was a bit of a brouhaha in my last interview with him. And unfortunately, he brought up some things that had something to do with someone else. The long and short of it is, in recent history, he made what I consider to be a conciliatory gesture. So I give him credit for that. I'm moving on. I try to focus on the positive when possible. I believe that he has done some good for the Black discourse. But this last this clip I want to show you was very disturbing to me to hear. And this is not about personal attacks, so let's not go there. This is about a principle thing that I want to help nip in the bud. Somebody talk Black to me. How many of y'all know that the Vicki show is a home of the hand claps and the gavel rap? Shout out, family, for those of you that see me here, this brief pop-up that I'm doing. I see some of you all that's jumped in. Good to see you. Share this broadcast, those of you that are tuning in when you see it. So I wanted to discuss what I consider to be some very problematic comments and statements, and what I believe to be, quite frankly, some very, listen to what I'm saying, dangerous talking points to the Black agenda to get reparations and justice in these United States of America. Talk Black to me, somebody. United States of America is a creation of the Black man and the Black woman. We built this. We brought this into existence. You understand? Your open enemy did not do it. It is why they stole the indigenous Black man and woman's land, resources, pulled some of us, stole some of us, kidnapped some of us from the continent of Africa to steal our labor and our intellectual property. Somebody Black talk Black to me. Don't you forget that. So the country that the world comes to is something we built. Just want to always throw that out there. So I was disturbed by something he said during a podcast. And of course, this clip is covered under the Copyright Act with this particular podcast. But I want to share something that he said. Again, this is not personal, but this is a very dangerous talking point that I believe he says aloud. And we need to nip this in the bud. Listen.
Will that help us?
But don't you think that if we got reparations,
hold on 1 second, family,
that would have helped?
Let me ask you a question. The question on the table: if we get reparations,
but don't you think that if we got reparations, that would have helped?
Let me ask you a question. The question on the table: if we get reparations, will that help us? If somebody is mentally ill in a mental asylum, mental hospital, you give him $1 million.
Gone.
Does it reverse the illness?
No, it don't.
Does it do anything to treat his problem?
No.
So let's take that to a community. If a community has no institutions, no way to track the money in their community, they own none of the institutions, and you drop a couple $1 trillion in that community. How is that money going to benefit the people when all the institutions in the community that are going to take their money are not owned by people who look like that? I'm going to ask it another way. If we don't responsibly spend the money we already have,
How can we spend more?
What makes you think giving you more is going to change your situation? Now, let me say this. I want to be clear. I support reparations.
Okay.
I support it. The reparations movement was born from the Pan-Africanist movement. I support reparations. What I don't support is thirsty, opportunistic Negroes who are pushing for reparations externally before we have delivered reparations internally to ourselves. In other words, most of the saving that has to be done for Black people must be done by Black people, and no amount of money going to fix that.
Right.
No amount of money is going to stop the Black woman from not trusting the Black man.
Right.
No amount of money is going to make the Black man love his woman. No amount of money is going to stop Black women from frying their hair. No amount of money is going to stop Black men from dating outside the race.
Right.
When you look at our deepest rooted problems, no money can fix them.
You got to start at the root, right?
You got to start at the root. And then once you replant your tree, now you get that reparations to decorate your branches.
No.
You want to decorate your branches before you
No, ninja. No, ninja. No, ninja. Let me correct your language real quick. And for those of you that think like this, I'm going to help you separate. Let me help you. First of all, you do not use the language to describe reparations as somebody giving us something. We're owed that. Let me tell your funny looking self something when you're dealing with legal terms of a prospective litigant, a party. When you owe somebody something, there are no qualifications for what is owed. I don't jump through nobody's hoops to get what is owed to me. And he uses an analogy of calling us sick and our communities in despair and all of this, right? Do not forget, our open enemies, the oppressor is sick. But they running the world. They're running the purse strings. They stole our money. They're running Wall Street. They're pimping our entertainers. They're pimping our athletes. They're running our schools, our minds, our media, our religion, our very thoughts, our food. So this notion that somehow we're sicker than our open enemies, but they're running the world, makes you look like a Wally Walnut. Somebody put some nuts in the chat. Moreover, money, we find, is the direct route for increased crime, family or domestic instability, educational disparities, social disparities, political disparities, health disparities. The root is money. The main driving force for anti-Black oppression, the main driving force for chattel slavery, convict leasing, Black codes, Jim Crow, new Jim Crow, and modern slavery was business, was money, was warfare. And no disrespect to you, Dr. Umar. You have been demanding money for your school that I believe you're still saying that you're doing repairs on. You have been fussing and going off on the Black community for not giving you more money for the school that you said is your vision. If we too sick to get reparations, to know what to do with reparations, baby, we're too sick to give you money for your school. Talk Black to me. There are no qualifications for monies that are owed. Imagine, Black family, do not come to me if you listening, talking about, well, he right on the part where he said we need to get our schools together and we going to support the enemy with our money. That's a different conversation. We do need to prepare so that we are economically dominant and that we have economic Black cohesion. Duh. But that's a different conversation from the legal conversation of reparations that's old. Table that conversation. It's inappropriate to chit-chat about that. What's wrong with your little bitty Black brains? That's a different conversation that you don't mix or amalgamate or confuse with this one. Talking like that gives our open enemy, both the Republicans and the Democrats, effective talking points for the reasons for which they should slow walk after 500 years our money. The hell you talking about we sick? No, the white man that enslaved us is sick, and they're running the purse strings with our money, living their best lives, giving it to many generations. The one that chopped off the private parts of your fathers, bit the dogs, bit the breast of your mothers, set both of them on American crosses, dismembered their bodies, ate them, set their towns and houses on fire. But they're running the world right now. And how disrespectful it is to assume that every Black person that you know don't know what to do responsibly with money. Stop projecting, Dr. Umar. Because surely you're not saying you don't know what to do with the money because your school ain't being built after all these years. I'll never come for you for stuff like that. I'm a businesswoman. I know that sometimes when you engage in projects, it takes a while to build. There are a lot of hoops sometimes you jump through and a lot of moving parts. But I'm just saying, sit down with that. That's asinine. That's some madness. Can you imagine somebody breaking in your house, stealing your electronics, stealing your jewelry? Let's say you have gold and diamonds and other valuable commodities and stuff. Imagine somebody breaking your house, stealing it. They steal your car. They steal, let's just say, a couple of $1 million worth of stuff. Law enforcement gets them. There's some difficulty trying to get it back from them. So then you have to also go to court. So there's a criminal case going, there's a civil case going at the same time for you to get what they stole. Can you imagine them being in court? The plaintiff or the prosecution, depending on how these things are allocated, whether they through the criminal case or they have to file an additional case through civil court. Can you imagine the prosecutor, if it's a criminal case, sitting up there telling the judge, well, I need to assess their mental stability first. My stuff that was stolen, we're going to sit up here. I need to know whether or not they ever smoked weed when they was a teenager. I need to know if they ever talked back to their mamas and daddies. I need to know if they miss work. This mine, stupid. It don't matter what. It don't matter what. Monies that are owed to the aggrieved, there are no stipulations but cut me my money, run me my coins. There ain't nothing to talk about. Smelling funny, looking funny, homeless, multimillionaire, broke, the proletariat. The working class, there are no stipulations. And if I'm too sick to give money for reparations, baby, I'm too sick to give money to your school. Even though I give my money and resources to many other pro-Black institutions and people and causes. Family, y'all, this is getting on my nerves, all this off-code behavior. You gotta know when to shut up. These are conversations that we need to say, hey, family, Black family, when we get, because we know we're demanding this money, we should sit down and have some conversations about this so that we can be in the greatest and best economic position possible, so that we can maximize the money and the resources that we have, so that our open enemies aren't able to keep dominating us. We can pool our resources together in a responsible way. That's a separate conversation. Talk Black to me, somebody. America is sick as all get out. Your open enemy that did the wildest, most anti-human type things to us, stole your money, stole your resources, and they still running the world. And you want to sit up here and say something about us? And it's disrespectful to Black people like me, who are small businesses, who have visions and dreams, who are looking to grow their businesses. How many other Black business folks that you know have an amazing plan, and all they need is a fusion of funds and resources so they can make it a reality. How dare you project such disrespect? We got too many Black intelligent folks for your funny looking self to be saying something dumb like that. Money is an energy. Money is a spiritual thing. We're owed that, and there ain't nothing else to it. When you owe money, you don't get to tell somebody what to do with their money, no matter how disagreeable it is. Shut your mouth. Have that conversation in a Black town hall. Don't mix the conversations. I gotta go. Got on my nerves. And again, this is not about personal. I'm addressing the sick thinking behind this. The sick thinking. Exactly, Kukisi. Definitely not saying that about Ukraine. Exactly. Or the white Afghans we gave all the money and resources to. Or a large portion of America. When America, we cut over $1 trillion some odd plus dollars during the pandemic. And just about everybody got some money. Surely you're not saying that our open enemies aren't sick. Surely you're not saying our open enemies aren't in their right minds, but they're running the world. You focus on you and your school, you and your alleged wives. Focus on your little houses and stuff. How you can run and pay bills over there. Let us do what we do, because when you owe, you don't get to tell me. That's the arrogance of some of you that got the nerve to dictate what people do with their own money. No, you need to go make some and do something with it. The only time you're going to hear me going off about how somebody's using money is if it's mine. If they stole it from me. If I got an interest in that particular thing, that's when I get to put my 2 cents in it. You understand? No sense of belaboring the point. I got to go. Love you so much. I'm your sister with the curly braids, Vicki Dillard. Be sure to share this broadcast. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. I said what I mean. Don't make this into something crazy. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I'm not going to sit back here and let this off-code behavior and these ridiculous talking points fly. This is some madness. Don't tell me this was he right. We need to know what to do with the money. Sit down. That's a different conversation from whether or not you're legally owed something. You go budget your money. Come up with a plan what you going to do with your check. Love y'all. Vicki Dillard. Be sure to share this broadcast. Follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. I have a pretty new TikTok page at I Am Vicki Dillard. I'm on Twitter at Dillard Vicki and Facebook. A couple Facebook pages at Vicki Dillard, beloved. And I have a whole bunch of other yummy things coming up too. Be sure to join my email list so that you're alerted with some of my projects and events that are going to be coming up in winter and early 2023. That's at VickiPlanet.com. That's VickiPlanet.com. That's VickiPlanet.com. I can't wait to see you again.